3 Israeli communities are picking up the pieces after being attacked by terrorists within days of one another. The first attack happened on July 30th in the city of Aschkélon, Israel. Hamas terrorists claimed responsibility for firing an Iranian-made Grad rocket into a civilian area. Aschkélon has a population of about 125,000 residents. While no one was killed, several people were treated for shock. The next day, July 31st, a Qassam rocket fired from Hamas-controlled Gaza hit a rehabilitation center in nearby Sderot, Israel. The center that was hit provides therapy and workshops for special needs children from across Israel. The third rocket attack happened just 2 days later, on August 2nd, in the popular resort city of Eilat, Israel. None of the thousands of tourists vacationing there were injured, but one of the rockets landed just over the border near the Intercontinental Hotel in Aqaba, Jordan. Tragically, a Jordanian taxi driver was killed and several others were injured. Authorities now believe the rockets were fired by terrorists, reportedly Hamas, operating out of the Sinai Desert in Egypt.
Of course, we condemned the attack on Jordan in no uncertain terms, and we will always offer any cooperation or any help which is needed.
The fourth attack happened the very next day, on August 3rd, but this time at the opposite end of the country, along the northern border between Israel and Lebanon. Israeli forces were conducting routine maintenance along the border, trimming trees that were interfering with surveillance equipment. The work was coordinated with the United Nations, who monitors the area between Lebanon and Israel, despite receiving the okay from the UN, and despite the fact that they were still on Israeli soil. The Lebanese army opened fire on the Israeli tree trimmers.
Stop! Wait, stop! Stop! Stop doing anything! Stop! Stop doing anything! Stop!
Killing Lieutenant Colonel Dov Harari, a father of 4, and injuring Captain Ezra Lakia, who was shot in the chest.
For years, many in the international community have remained silent when rockets have been fired at Israeli civilians and when unprovoked attacks have been launched against our soldiers. The expressions of outrage have usually been reserved for Israel's response to those attacks. But firing missiles on civilians is a war crime, and unprovoked attacks on our soldiers are blatant acts of aggression. That's why Israel expects the international community to condemn such attacks in the strongest possible terms.
The question now, are these deadly attacks, all just days apart, a coincidence? The day of the attack by Hamas on the city of Aschkélon was the same exact day the Arab League authorized Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas to begin direct negotiations with Israel. Negotiations Hamas say they do not want to happen. Then, the same week, the United States joined with leaders of Egypt and Jordan to encourage Abbas to meet with Israel's prime minister. Terrorists struck Eilat and Jordan from within Egypt. And when Lebanese forces opened fire on the Israeli border, the leader of the Hezbollah terrorist group based in Lebanon just happened to have sent a television crew to the border to film the ambush. That incident occurred just as a United Nations special tribunal investigating the 2005 assassination of Lebanon's prime minister is reportedly close to blaming Hezbollah for carrying out the assassination. That news could cause further strife within Lebanon. Currently, Hezbollah has stockpiled some 42,000 rockets near the border with Israel. This animation shows Hezbollah positioning the rockets within civilian communities. Israeli surveillance footage actually found one community where Lebanese citizens ran a group of Hezbollah terrorists out of their town. Hezbollah's chief supporter, Iran, is vowing to stand with the terrorist group against Israel. Just days after the border attack, Iranian dictator Ahmadinejad announced plans to visit Lebanon. As one Israeli general put it, the problem is that Israel is located 1,500 kilometers from Iran. But because of Gaza and Lebanon, Iran is located just 50 meters from Israel.